Thymesia released today, a game which no one knows how to pronounce. It's a surprisingly good Bloodborne-like in which you play as a plague doctor that's a half-human, half-crow named Corvus. Thymesia punishes mistakes harshly, so learning how to avoid or in this case mitigate damage is important. There are a few ways to prevent damage in Thymesia, and almost all of them can be improved via Corvus's talents: spacing, deflects, dodging, iframes, and blocking or the defense skill. This last one is the focus of this video and the one we'll learn about today. Blocking is the easiest method to mitigate damage, but it doesn't prevent all of it the way time deflects or dodges do. Instead, Corvus will brace for incoming attacks with his weapons held up to protect himself, letting some chip damage through. The more points you put into the defense skill, the more tanky you'll become, and you can even block critical attacks, which you normally can't deflect. Note that speccing into defense replaces your deflect because it goes on the same button, so if you want to go back to parrying, just swap your talents, which you can do for free anytime at any beacon. Like I said, holding your guard will let some small amounts of chip damage flow through into Corvus, so the best way to offset that is to use the upgraded Short Claws and Healing Execution talents. Short Claws replaces your default claw and unleashes a rapid flurry of claw slashes at an enemy in very short range. It also stacks a damage buff on yourself the more of these claw hits you land. The upgraded Short Claws talent starts stealing life from the enemy anytime you claw someone when you're above 5 offensive stacks. This healing is trace amounts at best, but a slight amount of healing is exactly what you want to offset a slight amount of damage getting through to you. Enemies have to be hit with a finisher once they're close to death. Healing Execution gives you a chunk of health every time you execute an enemy with his finisher. This makes it a great talent for general exploration since you'll be fighting many enemies as you explore the world and can heal off of each one you kill, and it's a good one to have for boss phase transitions as well, because anytime you transition a boss into its next phase, that's considered an execution, so you heal off of that too. It's not much, but every little bit helps your potions go a ways longer. Both of these combined will keep your health up after blocking damage and taking the chip from that. A good ingredient to have slotted into your potions if you're going to be blocking damage instead of dodging or deflecting is Lavender. Lavender increases damage resist for a while once you drink a potion with it, so against tougher enemies or enemies that make you block longer strings, this is a good option. As you fight enemies, block incoming attacks, then strike back with your saber and claws to heal yourself. When you execute them, you'll heal again. As long as you don't take much unguarded damage, this is a sustainable way to fight normal enemies and mini-bosses. This also helps learn the cadence and timing of enemy attack strings once you want to get into deflecting, since trying to learn these timings when you're being hit is harder due to your perception being polluted from sound effects and stagger. When you block an attack string, you're instead seeing it in a very clean form, right up in front of you at the closest distance, which is exactly where you'll be when you start deflecting them. So basically this helps your brain lock in the patterns easier. Blocking is also good against stronger enemies that you find challenging to defend against, whose attacks do way too much damage at your current vitality level, causing you to get killed too quickly if you deflect or dodge at the wrong time. This is a safer, more consistent way to fight these enemies until you feel more confident. If you invest in the final defense talent, you can even block critical attacks, which are these green flashes on an enemy's combat line that usually must be interrupted with feathers. This helps a lot for certain enemies whose critical attacks come out quickly and you find harder to time against. The main downside of blocking is that you're still taking damage, which means the rest of your build has to compensate. To make it effective, you're putting a lot of talent points into something that doesn't directly help you deal damage, as well as the other skills that need to surround it in order to support it. Blocking is weaker without healing executions and healing short claws, so you kind of need all of those to make it worth it. Blocking also deals no damage back to the enemy, and it doesn't stack any buffs for you when you do it right, makes it less valuable than deflecting or short dodging, respectively. In short, blocking is a great option to reduce how perfect you have to be, and it's a learning accelerator for enemy attack strings. It's not the strongest defensive option, but it's the most reliable one, and it's a strong tool to pull out in situations where you want to safely get rid of a particular mini-boss, or get through a long gauntlet of enemies when you don't know where the next beacon is. It's recommended you get back to deflecting and dodging when you can, since they have much higher value for their execution cost, but if you want to just block everything, that's totally fine too. There are vitality builds that buff certain plague weapons, and blocking synergizes with those very well. Thanks for watching, may fog shroud you, and may the night keep you safe.